Hey, it's Loren Lockman from Tanglewood, and I'm sitting here with Kenny, who you probably recognize by now if you've been paying attention. Kenny, how you doing?
I'm doing amazing.
Good, good. So,
really good.
You are now on day, 12 of refeeding?
Day
something like
8.
That. Is it day 8 of refeeding?
Yeah.
Is that all?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm thinking Saturday to Saturday.
Yeah.
You're starting on Saturday.
Yeah.
Right. So, day 8, okay.
Yeah, a little day over a week.
It is just one day over a week?
Over a week, yep.
So what's happened for you in that first week, roughly? What's happened? What's changed? Because I know there's significant changes.
Well, it is significant changes. My body is more regular now as far as my bathroom habits.
You mean how often you bathe?
No.
You're having regular bowel movements.
I have regular bowel movements.
Right.
I'm eliminating regularly.
All right, perfect.
I had not had one for about, when that began, it was maybe 2 days post-fast.
Right.
So like 42, 43 days, give or take a day.
Right.
And you assured me that happens quite often. It can be typical.
It does.
So I trust you explicitly. I wasn't worried about that.
Yeah.
In my regular life, I'm very regular.
Right.
No pun intended, but I usually eliminate about 3 times a day.
Okay.
So it was unusual for me, but it wasn't painful or difficult not to go that.
Sure. And then again, fasting 40 days is kind of unusual for you too.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you've now been eliminating for like 5-6 days.
Yeah.
And you're eliminating several times a day now.
Right. Well, on the first day when the dam broke, I think I had like 7 or 8 bowel movements in concession.
Right.
And now that kind of lessened with each day.
Yeah.
And now it's down to about 3-4 a day.
Okay. All right.
You know.
Okay, good.
I'm eating about, in the beginning I was eating 5 small meals a day.
Yep.
And I think first of all, let me say, I think the way that you have designed break fast, taken from the word breakfast, how we break fast is ingenious. I've never broken a fast this wise and thoughtful and thought out, but
yeah.
I loved how the meals slowly increased over time, and it just really was a gentle waking up of my appetite and my digestive system. It was really amazing.
Good. I'm glad it's worked for you. It seems to work pretty well for most people.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I'm in awe of the process, actually.
Well, so now what else has happened? At the end of your fast, that last week, it was a little bit harder to haul your butt from your room up to the common area.
Yeah, it was really rough. Nights were, I would say nights were hell and days were heaven. For me, other people experience different things. As you say, everybody's different.
Yeah.
As dusk would come and the sun would go down, I would have a hard time throughout the evening. Just physiologically, I'd be weaker, just feel a little more feverish. I wasn't running a temperature, but I just felt feverish. So that's what I would experience. And then in the day, that would subside quite a bit.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And, okay, so now what's happened since you started eating? What's happened with all of that and with energy and strength? What shifted?
Each day it just got better and better with each incurring day.
Yeah.
As I started to eliminate more, that was a huge game changer in and of itself.
Yeah, of course.
The last, this Monday past, I've been able to engage in mild calisthenics, stretching.
Fantastic.
I'm up to 10 push-ups again.
Okay, good.
You know, when I first exercised, I think I could do like 2 or 3 push-ups.
Right.
So now, just 3 days, I'm taking off, today and tomorrow, I'm taking off about 48 hours because my body is sore from it. But just, I feel amazing. The mental clarity that I have, I'm very flexible.
Yeah.
The flexibility that I've had, and I haven't been practicing stretching or anything. It's just come from the process has made me more flexible.
It almost always does.
Right.
Yeah, now, viewers may or may not remember that you're a personal trainer. That's what you do.
I am a personal trainer.
So how do you feel about your relatively, let's see, low ability at the beginning, just 3 days ago, with exercise? I mean, you were a very strong guy when you got here. You obviously felt much weaker after fasting 40 days.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about that whole piece and your progress since then?
Well, if this week is any indication of the upwardly mobile pace that I'm moving, I see nothing but sunshine and blue skies for me as far as physicality. And one of my goals post-fast was, as your audience knows, I turned 59 on the 40th day, which was just by happenstance. After I bought my flight tickets and everything, I realized that. And my goal, my forward moving goal is to be in the best shape of my life by the time I'm 60.
Right.
And the wonderful thing is, each year that I have a birthday will mark the 40th day of my fast. So it's a great goal post for me.
Right, that's right.
And this last week, I mean, if this is going to incur and continue and increase, I'm really excited about fitness.
Yeah.
Because now I'm approaching fitness regimens in a pain-free, joint-free, no inflammation-free body.
Right. Yeah. Now it's interesting because we had there have been lots of comments on earlier videos about how amazing you look, how young you look, and you did. You came in looking great for a guy your age, but you were experiencing pain. You were experiencing inflammation.
Right.
Your body wasn't actually working the way you wanted it to.
Right. And I'm so glad you brought that up because I wanted to segue into something that I wanted you to answer for me personally, and maybe it'll be helpful to someone. I also, I'm very transparent. I am a drug addict that has been clean, sober for 30 years.
Yeah.
But I used drugs at the early age of 11 up until I was almost 30, about 20 years.
Right.
And because I used heroin very strong and alcohol and all kinds of pills, I started dropping acid when I was like 15 years old, going to the gay clubs in New York City. I really abused myself, and I was really a low bottom, hardcore user at a teenage age.
Right.
And because of that, I created all kinds of STDs. I was very promiscuous. I created hepatitis B which to my understanding isn't quite as bad as hepatitis C, but bad enough. And I've been on medications and under doctor care for 30 years.
Right.
Lots of illegal drugs, and then another 20, 30 years
Of
of pharmaceuticals, which is like, what is that, 50 years of being on some kind of substance, right?
Right.
A lot of abuse. And, I used, which doesn't work for everyone, there are many paths, but what happened to work for me was various different 12-step programs, which names will go unmentioned for the anonymity purpose. But, the common theme around those rooms is that, well, Loren, I abused myself. I was so hardcore when I was out there.
Right.
And now I have either I'm stricken with cancer or hepatitis C or whatever it is. And doc says I have to take these medications for the rest of my life. And I guess that's just my cross to bear. It's my penance for a life lived of abuse.
Right.
And this is the common consensus as it is in the world. And I thought that too. And I said, thank God, let me just be grateful that I'm clean. And that's the most I can hope for.
Right.
And there's a lot of drug addicts, active and not. I was wondering how much experience has Tanglewood had in those types of clients coming through the doors of Tanglewood, and your take and perspective on that, and just how much personal experience as a health and life coach that you have with other clients, not just myself, with that.
Right. We certainly don't specialize in that type of person.
It's not a niche.
It's not a niche that we've ever looked to fill.
Right.
We have seen people with similar histories, probably in about the same proportion that they're represented in the population.
Really? I was going to say on average in your 30-plus year career of doing this,
we see. Not everyone who comes in is as transparent, so we may not even know everyone's history completely. Right. Some people aren't willing. Some people are ashamed or embarrassed to talk about it.
Right.
I'm aware of that, and people are. Some of the most unreliable studies are the ones where people are self-reporting whatever they've done and are doing.
Right. People take those to be gospel, but
people are notorious for not being very good at self-reporting everything.
Right.
But we see people who have similar histories. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, we haven't seen so many, but we've seen them every year for almost 24 years. This is our 24th year. We've seen them every year, so we've seen a fair number. Most people, virtually everyone, with a history like yours, has done remarkably well. And there's no reason for me to believe that people can't do remarkably well, almost irregardless of what their past was.
Right.
It's not that.
But it's not like you're doomed to it because
that history doesn't.
You lived a particular type of lifestyle once upon a time.
That's right.
Ago.
That's right. Yeah. And that's it's really, really good news. Which some people, ironically, in my experience, is that there are some people who will deny that who it's almost like they want to hold on to this. Well, this is my cross to bear.
A penance.
Exactly.
I must pay.
Exactly. Yeah. The good news is for people who aren't absolutely attached to the idea of carrying a cross around for the rest of your life, which doesn't look like much fun to me.
Yeah.
You can put it down, and you can allow yourself to achieve an amazing level of health. I think the truth is that we are going to be affected by our history.
Right.
Obviously, it does take its toll, and I would never say to anyone, well, you can heal 100%, you can recover 100%.
Right.
My own history, I used recreational drugs from the time I was 14 until the time I was 24, almost 25.
Right. Almost the same, but just different time frames. You started later, ended a little later. I started earlier, ended a little, but almost about the same time.
That's right. Now
the same era too.
That's right.
The 80s. I think almost anybody can attest to.
That's right.
A little experimenting, but yeah.
Yeah. Now there is a significant difference, and the difference is that I didn't go nearly as deep as you did.
Yeah, I went all the way to the bottom. I took the elevator to the basement.
I was and still am terrified by the idea of heroin, and would never touch it.
Yeah.
And I don't judge you for doing what you did, but I can tell you that even though, I mean, the substances that I used a lot of marijuana.
Yeah, well, I smoked that like I did cigarettes.
Right. I used speed and cocaine, and I tried barbiturates and other things.
Same here.
Right. I tried ecstasy.
Yeah.
But having said that, I mean, again, even though my own history was probably not nearly as heavy drug use, heavier drugs, I didn't go there. I still believe that I was affected. In other words, I'm not sure I'm ever going to be as healthy as I would have been had I never done that. Right?
That makes total sense.
Yeah, I mean, it does.
I'm sure I burned out some brain cells and whatever else I did.
Exactly. I mean, I was feeling it at 25, and it was what motivated me to go, you know what? This isn't really helping me. I don't feel like I'm definitely not achieving at the level I could be. Mm-hmm. I can't even think at the level I used to think at, even 5 or 6 years earlier, because my drug use ramped up after high school, so and then went back down again, obviously. But so I think the truth is that anybody who has that kind of a history, regardless of what the substances are, there is going to be some impact. But it's amazing what we can accomplish, what we can achieve, and I still feel like my brain works now, perhaps if not as well, nearly as well as it ever did. My physical health has been really, really good, and that's even though I'm still not, I could get more sleep and et cetera. But, and I think obviously you've already seen in this short amount of time, because it's, again, we're only talking about 8 days after a 40-day fast.
Right, I still have, my total refeeding is going to be a total of 14 days.
You got quite a bit more time of refeeding to do.
Yes.
And then you've got 6 weeks afterward. So a couple months from now, I would expect you to really be feeling all of the effects, the full effects, and to see what's happening.
Well, I've been explaining that to family members. I said, well, the journey, when you leave Tanglewood, it just begins. You go home and you follow through on the protocols that you give.
That's right.
6-week program, and not even just 6 weeks, and beyond.
But at least 6 weeks.
At least 6 weeks.
I mean, if just look at the 6 weeks, you're not quite halfway there yet.
No.
From your arrival until the end of that period, you're not halfway.
That's a month and a half after being home.
That's right.
Yeah, and but not just that, so much more. Like the non-physiological benefits is I've never really written anything. I'm writing amazing poetry.
Awesome.
The thing that I came for non-physically was clarity of mind, sharp focus, stronger connection to the divine, my spiritual practice, deeper meditation, and raising my self-esteem and belief in myself. So I have an iron will focus. I know what I want to do when I get home, as far as prosperity and other things, and it's already began here. I've
you're seeing each of those areas already.
Even during the 40-day fast, it was happening in my room. I would wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and have epiphanies and ideas. So I would keep a pad next to my back, and my hand couldn't keep up. The thoughts were coming so fast and so feverishly. And
I like to think that's why I write so poorly.
No,
my hand can't keep up with my brain.
Right. Yeah. I know that you're also an author. You're published and you're a writer of children's books, and I'm not sure of what else, but I'm interested.
I mean, handwriting.
Oh.
No, I think I'm a good writer, but my handwriting is illegible.
Oh, okay.
Completely. And it's because my hand can't keep up with my brain.
That might have been the couple brain cells from the ecstasy that you burned out. I don't know. So there's all of these non-physiological, emotional, spiritual benefits, far too many to be told, like
Yeah.
at this point,
Yeah.
and I'm sure more is coming. But my
Yeah.
my optimism is through the roof. When I came here, I was confused. I had foggy brain. My fear levels about just life in the future and
Right. There's a lot of self-doubt.
yeah.
Yeah.
What prospects?
Yeah.
What prospects held for me in the future
Yeah.
were very glim for me.
Or you thought so.
I thought so. I couldn't see.
Right.
And now there's like this veil has been lifted.
Yeah.
That
It's beautiful, man.
indescribable.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
I get emotional when I talk about it.
That's obvious. I think you are positively impacting a lot of people here as being the example that you've been.
Yeah.
So, good stuff. Thank you. So let's check in with you one more time
Okay.
before you go.
Yep.
We still have some time.
Like, these are tears of joy.
We should see some
These are
amazing...
tears of gratitude, guys.
Yeah.
So
I expect, as much as has already happened, I think, 10 or 12 days from now, we're going to see another significant leap.
yeah, I'm having these quantum leaps, and it's amazing.
Yeah,
So,
awesome.
thank you so much.
Hey, man, my pleasure. We'll see you next time.
Bye bye.
Oh, you could have swept in like a tidal wave, or an ocean to ravage our